What's up, everybody? Welcome to After Hours with John Marks. As the Phillies make a big move today and signing the right fielder. So we're beginning to see what the outfield's going to look like here with some more decisions to be made. But Adolis Garcia is now a Philadelphia Philly on a one-year contract, 1 year, $10 million. So if you were looking at the Phillies outfield before, and I don't know how many times I said it, a lot, where it's like, okay, you have Marsh, you have Justin Crawford, you have Weston Wilson, maybe you have Harrison Bader, but now Garcia gives you your bona fide starting right fielder. He will be the guy, and he is going to be an upgrade defensively over Nick Castellanos. What you get at the plate may be somewhat of a different story. So, first of all, if you remember, you go back to the 2023 World Series, Garcia was unbelievable. He's got major tools. He's got great power. He's got great raw power, and defensively, he's absolutely awesome. So he's going to give you a lot more than Nick Castellanos. I think I saw a WAR or one of these advanced analytics where Castellanos was a -11 and Garcia is a +1. So that's a big deal. Castellanos sometimes would give you some, hustle plays, or he'd make a nice diving catch. But for the most part, you were just hoping that he was okay out there. Very average defensively. So at least Garcia gives you that element of defense, has a gun, has a cannon in right field. So, guys will definitely think twice before going first to third, as opposed with Castellanos. It probably wasn't even a consideration. Also, speed and base running. Garcia much faster, much more athletic. So from all those things, this is a huge upgrade over Nick Castellanos. I mean, honestly, when you look at Kepler last year, Kepler was a $10 million 1 year signing who had real power potential, not raw power like this, but no, they were hoping he was going to hit 25, 26, 27 home runs, which didn't end up happening. Garcia he could hit 35 home runs. He could get 30 home runs. He could hit 19 home runs like he did this year. But really, when I look at this deal and kind of evaluate it, decide whether I like it or not, I like it because not a lot of names out there. And when you're at this point with the names that were left out there, a free agent that's not going to cost you, young players in a trade, I guess they looked at Garcia and they said, okay, well, he checks the box of having great power. If you look at his numbers, he's routinely hitting in the upper 20s and doubles. So he's an extra base hitting machine. But what he also is, he's a boomer bust. If you look at the last 2 years, his on-base percentage isn't even above 300, 284 last year, or 2 years ago, 271 last year. And the batting averages are never high. He hit 224 in 2024 and hit 227 in 2025. So he's going up there and he's trying to hit a home run. Doesn't have great plate discipline. He's never going to work the count. He's going up there to hack. Not a ton of walks, as you'll notice with the low on-base percentage. So for a 1 year contract, a guy with real upside that'll get you starting the season, he's your right fielder. So let's look at the outfield right now. He's your right fielder. I believe this makes Justin Crawford your center fielder. And then your left field right now, and we'll talk about Harrison Bader in a second, your left field right now, I would believe, is Brandon Marsh and Otto Kemp, a platoon. What felt like before Bohm wasn't going to be back, I don't know, maybe this is just a feel, but it feels like Bohm doesn't have the value that the Phillies want, so they'll keep him at third base, which means Otto Kemp becomes a part-time platoon left fielder, and he becomes probably a third baseman if they don't like what Bohm's doing. Can play first, can play second. He can move around a little bit. If they were to move Bohm, Kemp becomes probably your everyday third baseman. So we'll see. I don't think that Harrison Bader now comes back. If they moved Bohm, Bader could become your center fielder, but then that leaves you with Marsh and Crawford in kind of a weird platoon in left field. Neither one of them have played right field, and I don't think they can. So that's why it leads me to believe that Bader is not coming back. They may have waited around to see what happened with the market, and then they decided they're going to go with Garcia. Bader is a good player. I love how he plays center field, and he was a real addition to their lineup after the trade deadline. They obviously don't want to give him 3 years, which is what he's looking for, maybe even 2 years. Just remember this. You can go into the season with an outfield of Crawford and Marsh and Garcia and Weston Wilson and Otto Kemp. It doesn't mean by the trade deadline or after the trade deadline that's going to be your outfield. So I would agree. It doesn't look like a great outfield right now because it's not. And you also have to see what Crawford gives you. He's done great in AAA. He doesn't have a ton of pop. So he's likely your 9 hitter. And where's your pop come from the outfield? Well, you're hoping it's coming from Garcia. But if he's done what he's done the last 2 seasons, 25 home runs in 2024, and then only 19 home runs last season, you're getting a guy that's going up there and he's either getting it out or he's hitting a home run, and there's not a lot of in between. Not working counts. Where you put him in the lineup is going to be interesting, and I had a projected lineup here. But before we get to that, to me, it looks like with maybe the addition of another bat on a minor league contract or a 1-year deal where you're only making a couple $1 million, I think you have your outfield for the most part. Kemp, Marsh, center field Crawford, right field Garcia, and Weston Wilson can be another bat off the bench if it's not somebody else. And it's not a great outfield, but it gets you started into the season. And oftentimes this is what happens with clubs. They know it's like, okay, we're probably going to need somebody in the outfield. They were wondering if that was going to happen last year. Bader became the guy. Maybe Rojas becomes your extra bat as an outfielder. Maybe they try to move him. Not really sure, but to me, it feels like the outfield is done, and Harrison Bader, this signing, makes it slim that he comes back, unless his market totally crashes. Let's take a look at potential lineups here, what the starting lineup could be, or the batting order, at least, I guess I should say. So you have, and also just keep this in mind, there's been a lot of talk of Schwarber and Harper flip-flopping. The last time that Rob Thompson spoke, which was after he signed his contract extension and when Schwarber signed, it seemed like that the best bet was that, or at least they were seriously considering it. So here it is right here. And I'll try to make this full screen so you can actually see it. Can we get rid of me? No, that's just me. Sorry, folks. I guess it's still there. But let me see. There it is. So for those who can't see it, and let's do a big screen right there. Okay. So Turner, Harper, Schwarber, Bohm. And I hate the idea of Bohm batting cleanup, but if Schwarber is hitting in front of him, I think he has enough plate discipline. Then you worry about Schwarber's season going to hell. But if Bohm's on the team, you tell me who else is batting cleanup unless it's Otto Kemp, which, I like him better than Bohm, but I don't know if they're going to do that. Turner, it's a matter of whether Harper or Schwarber, whether they're flopped there or they're going to be 2-3. Bohm, right now, I guess would have to be your cleanup hitter. For the people that say Garcia, maybe if he gets hot, you can move the guys around. What Rob Thompson has showed you is that he'll move this lineup around after your first 3, really, depending on injuries and where guys are. So at some point this season, Garcia may end up being your cleanup hitter, but I wouldn't want him there. You need better protection. And at least Bohm doesn't have a ton of power, but he's got better plate discipline. He's a better hitter than Garcia. The 5-hole looks like a Marsh Kemp platoon. And then Garcia, I'd like to put Real Muto at 8, just so you don't have 2 right-handers in a row. But if you go back and you look at a lot of the lineups, Stott and Crawford left, don't love it. But then Turner, when you're going back to the top of the order, he's your right-handed. So you could go Real Muto batting 8th instead of 7th. But Turner, Harper, Schwarber, Bohm, Marsh, Kemp, Garcia, Real Muto, Stott, and Crawford. This is in case Bohm is not moved. Now, Bohm easily could be moved. Maybe my read on the situation's wrong. They could move him. That would free up some salary, and then they could sign maybe a veteran third baseman, or they could sign another player at a different position. But to me, it was always, are they moving Bohm and Kemp was going to be the third baseman, or are they keeping Bohm and Kemp is going to be in the outfield? Because when they talked about him, most recently after the Schwarber signing, when they were talking about the team, Dave Dombrowski let you know what they think of Otto Kemp and what I think of Otto Kemp too. Get in the zone. AutoZone. But they think he's a championship caliber player. So they said championship type player. So if they're saying that, whether he's playing left field, whether he's playing third base, whether he's playing a little bit everywhere, he's in the lineup for his bat. He's got real pop. He impressed me a lot last year. He was playing while he was injured too. So I'd be curious to see what they do from here. So wrong player, bro. Change tweet. What does that mean? Did I not put the right tweet up there? I don't know. Anyway, yeah. So this is probably their last big move. Maybe, I don't know. JT, I expect to resign. If JT Realmuto doesn't resign, then obviously that changes a lot of things, and you're going to have to go out sign a catcher. But even though JT didn't have a great offensive year last year, he still in the second half of the season was pretty good. So it's one thing to sign a catcher that doesn't do anything offensively. JT does things offensively. He's not an all-star caliber player. He's not Cal Raleigh or even a half of Cal Raleigh offensively, but he can still put up some decent numbers. So it'll be curious to see exactly where they go from here. But signing Realmuto, I know they want to sign somebody or acquire somebody for the back end of the bullpen. Pete Fairbanks was mentioned in some discussions as far as signing him to a free agent contract. Tells you what you think that they think of Orion Kirkring. He's going to be their seventh inning guy. They probably don't want him to pitch in the eighth inning. They want to go Duran, one of their lefties, Alvarado, and Fairbanks or somebody like that. And Kirkring is good in the regular season. He can be your sixth and seventh. The higher the leverage spot, the less and less I want to see Orion Kirkring in there. And maybe they're also worried about what the reaction will be to him coming back after the mistake that he made in losing the NLCS on the mistake. So that's it. That is the news of the day. We're going to do these a couple times a week. So just make sure you're subscribed to 97.5 The Fanatic on YouTube. Smash that subscribe button if you haven't already done it. And we'll be pumping out the Phillies content here as the hot stove continues for your Philadelphia Phillies. Phil's sign Garcia to a one-year contract. Their right field situation is taken care of. And we'll talk to you next time. For John Marks, I'm out. See ya.